Every so often, missing kid statistics burst out onto social media. They're usually mind-boggling numbers, saying about 400,000 kids in the United States go missing every year. And since many posters point out the conspiracy of silence or a high-level pedophile ring, it's easy to write them off as unhinged theories. But the elephant in the room is that a little research shows that number may not be far off at all. The FBI Missing Persons Report in 2019 showed that 398,250 children under 18 went missing. Again, that's just 1 year. And other countries have similar numbers. 113,000 in the UK, 100,000 in Germany, 20,000 in Australia, and 96,000 in India. On the other hand, it just defies common sense. If those numbers are real, there have been millions of missing kids in my lifetime just in the United States. But I've never known a child who's actually been kidnapped, or even the children of friends or work colleagues or family members. So what's going on? Now, I hesitated a bit in making this video because I can't imagine losing a child for a few hours, let alone forever. It must be a horror show that never ends. Now, I know some people are going to say that I'm minimizing child abduction. Please, I'm not. And just for the record, if you kidnap a child, you should be mashed up into little pieces. Okay, so with that said, let's look into the numbers. I'm concentrating on the United States, but I suspect the same concepts are at play everywhere. The most recent numbers we have are the 22 FBI report that totaled a little under 360,000 entries for missing kids. Now, those reports come from local law enforcement agencies throughout the country. Anytime a child gets reported as missing, it's sent to the FBI and entered into that system. Now, most of those are resolved very quickly, often within a day. Some of those are completely innocuous. Kids are reported missing, then found at a friend's house, or briefly lost taking a hike, or just a miscommunication with a babysitter. Now, I said I never knew anyone who'd been kidnapped, but when I was 7 years old, my mom actually reported me missing to the police. My older sister had picked me up as I was walking home from school and took me to a park for a few hours instead. It was not a fun evening when I got home. Now, nationally, about 90% of those missing child cases are resolved very quickly, but that doesn't mean they all had good endings. If they find a kid's body, or one who's been kidnapped by a pervert, that's still resolved. But here we're concentrating on missing kids, and in that 2022 FBI report, that left us with 30,522 kids who are missing for a while. That's still a scary number. So you'd think missing kid statistics would be pretty reliable. I mean, after all, they're missing kids and it's important information. But those local agencies, they only give detailed information in about half of the cases they send up to the FBI. So we're extrapolating a little bit from that. So of kids who are missing for more than just a little while, 95% were believed to be runaways. Overall, a little under 2% of the kids missing for any length of time were actually abducted. And the vast majority of those kids were abducted by one of their parents, who didn't have a legal right to do so. The number of kids who were missing because they were kidnapped by a stranger is about 0.1%. In 2022, that was a little under 300 cases. In a country that has 73 million children, the odds of that happening are actually less than being struck by lightning, substantially less. But like a lightning strike, those cases are truly horrible. Many of the children are never found and assumed to be murdered. The majority who are found have been subject to sexual trauma. So while we're not looking at a massive number like 400,000 missing kids who are missing, it is horrible. The real good news in all of this is that kidnapping rates have been dropping over the last generation. Literally when I grew up, no exaggeration, milk cartons were the best way the public could help find a missing child. Now, with cell phones, Amber Alerts, video cameras, they've all made it tougher to take and hide a kidnapped kid. It's one area where technology has unarguably made things better. So I kind of debunked a conspiracy theory here, but these days we often see the opposite. When the media doesn't like something, it's often branded a conspiracy right off the bat. You may like this video, where I looked at a supposedly crazy statement that Robert Kennedy Jr. made about the COVID virus targeting different ethnicities. The press called him a conspiracy theorist and a racist, but that just wasn't the case. Hey, my name's Ken LaCourte, and I love diving into these topics and sharing what I found with you. I hope you come back again soon.